In 2024, the world feels like it's hanging by a thread. Political turmoil is bubbling over, economies are hiccuping their way to collapse, and violence? Oh, that's just become the background music to our daily doom scrolling. Now, I'm not saying you should lock your doors, board up your windows, and start hoarding canned goods, but maybe swap the canned peaches for some passport-sized photos, because if things go south, you'll need those for your emergency escape visa application. Because let's be honest, the world outside America's borders has become a bit of a geopolitical minefield. Once welcoming destinations have become no-go zones, and not just because the exchange rate is abysmal. These are places where your presence, specifically your American presence, is about as welcome as a fart in a spacesuit. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to take a whirlwind tour of the top 10 countries where Americans are about as welcome as a screen door on a submarine. Ah, North Korea, the Hermit Kingdom, the land that time forgot. It's a place shrouded in more secrecy than a Kardashian's Finsta account. And for Americans, it's always been about as accessible as a Beyoncé concert after you've been caught scalping tickets. But in 2024, folks, it's gone full lockdown. Think of it like your grumpy neighbor who puts up no trespassing signs, except they've also got a stockpile of nukes and a penchant for parades that would make Leni Riefenstahl blush. The regime, led by Kim Jong-un, has effectively cut itself off from the outside world. International travel, canceled, diplomatic relations, on ice. Even the smallest misstep, like say, accidentally liking a K-pop video on YouTube, could land you in hot water. And by hot water, I mean a North Korean prison camp where the only thing hotter is the burning desire to be anywhere else on Earth. So unless you've got a death wish or an unyielding desire to star in your own personal rendition of Bridge on the River Kwai, I suggest you steer clear of North Korea. Syria. Once the cradle of civilization, now it's where civilization took a long nap. For over a decade, this country has been ravaged by a brutal civil war. Imagine a place where entire cities lie in ruins, and gunfire is the daily soundtrack. Now imagine being an American in that country. Terrorist groups control vast areas. These extremists view Americans with hostility. The danger for Americans in Syria is off the charts. Maybe donate to a reputable aid organization instead. Ah, Venezuela. It used to be the belle of the ball, a South American paradise dripping in oil money and boasting beaches that would make a Kardashian Instagram story weep with envy. But now? Well, imagine that belle after a particularly nasty divorce, a fire sale at her mansion, and a newfound love for tracksuits and day drinking. Venezuela's economic collapse is the stuff of economic textbooks, the kind they use to scare the living daylights out of first-year students. Hyperinflation makes the Weimar Republic look like a model of fiscal responsibility. Your life savings could be wiped out faster than you can say Bolivar, and that's before we even get to the shortages. Food, scarce, medicine, good luck with that. So, unless you've got a hankering for a side of danger with your arepas, I suggest you avoid Venezuela like the plague. Seriously, you're more likely to find peace and quiet in a room full of toddlers hopped up on sugar than you are in Caracas these days. Chapter 4. Iran, where smiles can be misinterpreted. Iran, a land of ancient history, beautiful mosques and cultural richness. Smiling at a stranger could be misconstrued as a declaration of war. Relations with Iran have gone about as well as a vegan at a barbecue competition. It's all sanctions, saber-rattling and suspicion. Iran has its own set of rules rooted in a strict interpretation of Islamic law. The Iranian people are known for their hospitality, but the government, not so much. Maybe admire Iran's beauty from afar. Your Instagram followers will understand. Chapter 5. Yemen, where even the hope is bombed. Yemen. It's a name that conjures up images of ancient cities, stunning landscapes, and a culture steeped in centuries of tradition. But sadly, in 2024, Yemen is synonymous with one of the worst humanitarian crises the world has ever seen. Imagine a country where bombs rain down from the sky with the regularity of a particularly nasty hailstorm, where hospitals are reduced to rubble, schools are closed, and even the most basic necessities, like food and water, are luxuries few can afford. Now picture being an American in the middle of that hellscape. Yemen is trapped in a brutal civil war, a conflict so complex, so multifaceted, it would make a Rubik's Cube look like a child's toy. For Americans, Yemen is a death trap. So, unless you've got a death wish or a burning desire to become a cautionary tale in the State Department's travel advisories, I suggest you avoid Yemen like the plague. Seriously, even the hope in Yemen is running out faster than a Kardashian's patience for a paparazzi-free day at Disneyland. Chapter 6: Afghanistan. Back to the Dark Ages. Afghanistan. A land of soaring mountains, ancient traditions, and a history so rich, so complex, it could make your head spin faster than a whirling dervish. It's also a country that, after decades of conflict and turmoil, had a brief glimmer of hope. But that hope, my friends, has been snuffed out faster than a birthday candle in a hurricane. With the Taliban back in control, Afghanistan has taken a giant leap backwards, like a time traveler who accidentally set their machine to medieval times. Gone are the hard-won freedoms, the rights for women and girls, the dreams of a brighter future. For Americans, Afghanistan is now more dangerous than ever. So, unless you've got a death wish or a secret desire to live under a theocracy straight out of the 7th century, I suggest you steer clear of Afghanistan. Your Instagram feed can wait. Chapter 7: Libya, the Anarchy Cookbook. Libya. A North African nation with a history as rich and complex as its intricate mosaics, and a coastline that could make even the most jaded beach bum weep with joy. But beneath that surface beauty lies a country grappling with the ghosts of revolution, the scars of conflict, and a whole lot of unexploded ordnance. Remember Muammar Gaddafi? Well, he's gone, overthrown in a revolution that, while initially promising, quickly descended into chaos and violence. Libya is now a country fractured, a patchwork of rival militias vying for power like toddlers fighting over the last juice box. These aren't your friendly neighborhood watch groups either. For Americans, Libya is a no-go zone. The U.S. Embassy closed in 2014, and for good reason. So, unless you've got a death wish, or a burning desire to star in your own personal action movie, one where the script is written by a committee of trigger-happy warlords, I suggest you admire Libya's beauty from afar. Your loved ones will thank you for it. Chapter 8: Somalia, where danger sails the high seas. Somalia. A land of scorching deserts, ancient traditions, and a coastline so beautiful it could make a postcard photographer weep with joy. It's also a country synonymous with piracy, terrorism, and a level of instability that makes a Jenga tower built on a bouncy castle look like a model of stability. Imagine a country where the government's writ barely extends beyond the capital, where heavily armed militias roam freely, and where the threat of kidnapping or worse is as common as a sunburn. Now picture being an American in that country. Somalia has been grappling with civil war, famine, and political turmoil for decades. And just when you think things can't get any worse, along come the pirates. So, unless you've got a death wish or a secret desire to test out your negotiation skills with a bunch of heavily armed pirates, I suggest you avoid Somalia like the plague. Seriously, even Captain Phillips would tell you to steer clear of this particular corner of the world. Chapter 9: Belarus. Smile for the dictator, Belarus. Often referred to as Europe's last dictatorship. Imagine a country where dissent is met with an iron fist. Now picture being an American in that country. Belarus is ruled by Alexander Lukashenko. He's been clinging to power, rigging elections, silencing critics. For Americans, Belarus is a risky proposition. So unless you're really into potato-themed tourism, give this country a wide berth. Your loved ones will thank you for it. Chapter 10: Haiti. Paradise, lost in paradise. Haiti. The land of vibrant culture, stunning beaches, and a history marked by both triumph and tragedy. But today, Haiti is a country teetering on the brink, grappling with poverty, political instability, and a wave of violence that threatens to engulf everything in its path. Imagine a paradise where the streets are no longer safe, where gangs rule with impunity, and where the sound of gunfire is a terrifying lullaby. Haiti has long been plagued by poverty and political turmoil, but in recent years the situation has spiraled downwards faster than a Kardashian's reputation after a bad breakup. For Americans, Haiti is a dangerous gamble. You're a prime target for kidnappers who see foreigners as walking ATMs. So, unless you've got a burning desire to experience life under constant threat, I suggest you avoid Haiti for now. Your loved ones will thank you for it. Outrow, tread carefully. Look, the world is a big, beautiful, and often utterly bonkers place. It's full of wonders to behold, cultures to experience, and enough Instagram-worthy photo ops to make your followers green with envy. But it's also a world fraught with danger, where political instability, violence, and anti-American sentiment can turn a dream vacation into a nightmare faster than you can say passport renewal. These 10 countries are just a snapshot, a glimpse into the corners of the world where being American can be a liability, where your safety is far from guaranteed. It's not about fear-mongering, it's about being informed, about being aware of the risks before you even set foot on that plane. So before you pack your bags, check the State Department's travel advisories, do your research, and maybe, just maybe, consider a staycation instead. Your loved ones and your Instagram followers who are tired of your travel brags will thank you for it.